my fellow brothers and sisters, my fellow Ambazonians, una good afternoon for all the people that did for North America. Una good evening for all Ambazonians that did across the territory. Una welcome for all una. As I don't come today when Monday when number 14 day for the month of June for can salute all una. So I hope say all una they fine. I hope say all una get a good weekend with una family them. I hope say all man they stay strong. I hope say una heart they stay strong. I hope say una they very positive. All right. So all man place day when I come well, when I come fine. Today na Monday, so I don't come for can give una liberation updates. I want can tell una the big things already happen and the small things already happen. All right. So on my place day, when I come well, when I come fine, when I share them for make sure say other people then too they get the opportunity for join me for here. All right. So we'll go directly for the message. Today message no go over plenty. Normally though, before we start, normally, we always can talk about La République du Cameroon. We always can talk about, the international system. We always can talk about which America they do, which Switzerland they do, which France they do. Today though, my talk will be a little bit different. The talk for today will be a little bit different. It will be different from what una don't be used to how we take talk for all una. The talk for today will be different. My focus today now on Ambazonia. Not be so much on La République du Cameroon, not be so much on the international system. What talk today will be focused on Ambazonia. Very critical, very important. All right, a couple of things that all happen where it's supposed to be a wake-up call for the Ambazonian people then. But before we go for before I tell you now why Ambazonia they get for wake up, I go to tell you now why Ambazonians they get for wake up. If they not wake up, before we go for make us start with the message with the leader for a war of independence, Dr. Abacho. He don't deliver them for the people then before we start.
This is Dr. Choayaba. Today is a ghost town in Ambazonia. And as you know, the ghost towns were instituted by the consortium to make sure that the Ambazonian people peacefully and collectively express their desire to be free. The ghost towns have evolved to become a national symbol of resistance, a day of national defiance, a day of collective opposition to the tyranny and colonialism of our country. It is huge and symbolic. It is also a day that we remind ourselves of the blood spilled, the lives lost, the liberty taken away, and the men and women locked up in the dungeons of the occupier because they dared dream of a homeland. The ghost towns will continue until the last troop of the enemy withdraws or is bundled out by force. We know the regime is desperate. Mondays are days of nightmare to those who claim legitimacy over our land, because on Mondays it reminds them they are not in charge. On Mondays it reminds them of our unity. On Mondays, it reminds them of our defiance, our determination to see this cause through, not to buckle, not to blink in the face of their machinations. They have tried blackmail before. Murder has not worked. Assassinations, incarceration. They've got one last choice: get the hell out of our country. We do not seek other people's land. We will resist Cameroon until the end of time. And I commend you for your sacrifices, for your patience, for your perseverance. My fellow countrymen and women, the road to freedom is not a bus ride. You don't take an airplane. It's going through the dogged mountains, the valleys of hopelessness, uncertainty, but never stop walking. The enemy's nightmare is on Monday. The hope for those detained is on Monday. For the families who have lost thousands of loved ones, Monday reminds them their children didn't die in vain. Have faith. In the past days, I saw a picture of the British High Commissioner smiling with enablers in a desperate attempt to legitimize a rejected institution of colonialism. It's a shame that the same country that betrayed the trust bestowed on her by the United Nations, being unable to speak truth to power in the last 60 years, will be the first to attempt to legitimize a rejected institution. Let the British be reminded, we are not the Fonchas, neither are we the Endelis. We are not the John Frundis. We are the patriot volunteers who've lost everything and have nothing more to lose. The international system will attempt to muscle you into submission, to frighten you. Guns have not, bullets have not. Nothing will stop us from truly being free, achieving economic and political independence, and leaving behind a better place for our children. I hear they talk about federation. We would rather federate with the sea than with La Republique. Imagine in 1946 or 1944, the Jews who were being gassed in gas chambers in Buchenwald and other places were asked, as the Hitler regime collapsed, to return back to their murderers. Freedom is not only good for those who established the Magna Carta. It is also good for Ambazonians. And we will fight until the last person to make sure we are truly free. God bless you all. Happy Country Sunday. A luta continua until victory.
That one, now the message that we come out from the leader of our War of Liberation, Dr. Ayabacho. Now, a message that we send out for the Ambazonian people today. And the reason we send that message today, now because of this man. And because of this man we want to see, I make me big, me on my siam. His name na Ebenezer Akwanga. The person when I be the chairman for APLM. We move on from ACYL to APLM. Over the last 3 days, Mr. Akwanga, they don't make fake flyer them like my country people them. They put them for outside. Say the Ambazonia Defense Forces, say the leader of our War of Independence, the president of AGOFC, Dr. Ayabacho, and the arm wing, the Ambazonia Defense Forces. they don't talk say, make ghost town for Ambazonia, it come to an end. They start them since Friday. They start to make those flyers on Friday. They put out those flyers on Saturday. They put out those fake flyers on Sunday. We woke up this morning time after they don't do all these things, and when they make those flyers, we'll carry them, we can't put them out, we talk saying a fake. We put them all for our platforms and we will communicate with Ambazonia. When for the all official communication they take place. We can write and send a fake messages, not been a messages where they come out from A of C, not been a messages where they come out from ADF, na fake messages from La République du Cameroon and their agents. All right. So today, Mr. Akwanga, he don't come, go live for Facebook, go talk say they say, oh, no be abite una since 2017. No be abite una say this ghost town this so not be na fine thing, na bad thing, it not fine for we. Una see him, una see na the flyer this, and he take his phone. He say na the flyer this, that fake flyer when na the say the creator. He say na the flyer this, where Dr. Ayaba. He call it say Lucas Choyaba. He too now don't can accept say ghost town na bad thing. Make it come to an end. So we call for make ghost town come to an end. But they go use na blackmail. They go use na sabotage. For sabotage other movements. For can call say make ghost town come to an end. So that message when I don't hear from the leader, it be been a response for this. Mr. Akwanga, he call say make ghost town come to an end for Ambazonia. They create fake messages for blackmail the egg of C, and then they go use them like their excuse for can call say, for can talk say, okay, then today they call say make ghost town come to an end for Ambazonia. Now the desperation then this of people then wait since 2019. They go chook their hand for Sako a pot soup. Since Akwanga go chook his hand for Samuel Sakoyi and Chris Anu, their pot soup for Maryland, Akwanga never ever be the same again. Since Mr. Akwanga, he go put his hand for Sako their pot soup, it become Mr. Snectology. Mr. Akwanga never be the same again. Since that day, Ambazonia, they never recognize, they never even know who be Dr. Akwanga anymore. It talk na back, it talk na for corner mob. So Dr. Mr. Akwanga, we will not forget. Na so he come out for can call when Antonio Guterres and the Swiss, they be the one make the Ambazonian War of Liberation come to an end. Una sabi, Sako de send na Mr. Akwanga make can call for a ceasefire. Say make all fighters in Ambazonia, they made them drop their weapons. Una remember. So when did he come back with 2021? For the same person we call make all Ambazonia they drop their weapons for unilateral ceasefire. For the same person for come back to Una 2 years after or 1 year after for can't tell Una say make ghost town come to an end. Una understand why? The pot soup where he go join Sako and Chris Anu. They go chook their hand there. For the Swiss cheese. For effective decentralization and special status. Their call for make ghost town end for Ambazonia. Now their call for tell Ambazonia then say, Paul Biya don't give a special status. Paul Biya don't give an effective decentralization. Will not end the war. The agenda for the Swiss cheese. Now they make them. They talk the language of snaketology. Two-head snake. The poison for the potsu we go chuki hande for Maryland and for Switzerland. Now they turn for their head. Now they enter inside their head. Now the poison on the chop them. Now the poison on the chop them. My fellow citizens, for all brothers and sisters, when people they come up from grace to disgrace, when people they come up from position of leadership and they make themselves for become a mockery of the generation because of langa. Langa for money. Langa for retirement money. Langa for blood money. Langa for genocide money. And the only reason we do these things, I don't really make analysis. I don't need for go there for now. Because these people them, you're not worth what time anymore for we for to call their names. Like just because they come up. You don't mean anything to the Ambazonian people them anymore. You don't get any role for playing for the Ambazonian people their destiny anymore. They don't join Team La République. They don't join Team Decentralization and Team Special Status. And Team Make Peace Return for Cameroon. Langa. 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 Now langa, they worry them. So the poison, it only make them become drunk. That's why they talk this rubbish. They talk this nonsense. From sending a call for an end to Ghost Town. Now, how many people there? How many people they watch Mr. Kwanga today when he be dead live? How many people there? Now, how many? Now, man, he talk now to himself. He talk now to himself. All right? Because of Langa. They don't put their X for their name for the history of Ambazonia. From leader to a traitor. From a leader to a sellout. People the way a generation for look up to. They don't become a mockery to the generation. Now they don't give Ambazonia shame. Ghost Town be very important for all we. Now 4 pillars the day for a war of independence. The Ambazonian liberation be made up of 4 pillars. If you tamper with one of those pillars, the liberation start for fall. As the leader explained, the first pillar with the institutor by the consortium that time, because that the consortium will be the frontline organization for the Ambazonian people then for 2016. They institute this thing, say Ghost Town, now a policy of the revolution, a tenet of the revolution, a commandment of the revolution, so that it go involve the whole population. The Ghost Town idea way every single Ambazonian it participate for the liberation of homeland as a collective effort for show to the international community, and to the occupier. Say na collective resistance by the population. Say na a grassroots movement will be led by the people. Now the people that want independence. Now the people that demand independence. Now the people that want freedom. Now the people that demand for freedom. Now the people that want liberation. Now the people that demand and demonstrate that request, that promise, that desire, that they express that desire collectively. That is important of Ghost Town that. Like collective effort. Number 2, Ghost Town na a day where the Ambazonian people they adopt them for punish the occupier, for punish La République du Cameroon economically. Every day where the Ambazonian people they observe Ghost Town, the occupier it lost billions of CFA from the tax and economic activities which is supposed to take place in Ambazonia. So now they would use them for collectively punish La République du Cameroon economically and therefore crumble the occupational system, because the only reason where the occupation they exist now for because of economic benefits. So Mona not forget. The second pillar now the colonial school boycott. Now the second pillar that. The rejection of Cameroon colonial schooling system. Cameroon colonial educational system. Now the second pillar that. Collective rejection of Cameroon colonial educational system for Ambazonia. And the second pillar that for resistance, for collective resistance. Number 3, self-defense. If you see the first 2 pillars, them, they get everything for do with peaceful protest. All right. Number 3 pillar for liberation, na self-defense. Now number 3 pillar that. So if some person come out today, like Mr. Kwanga, he come out, say make the end goes down. That means say talk say make the revolution, make the liberation end. Make the people their aspiration for freedom, for independence, for a sovereign state, may it come to an end. Once you tamper with any of these pillars, then you don't tamper with the people their aspiration, with the people their resistance, their defiance, their fight for become free. Number 3 na self-defense. Self-defense na a universal right where what people they use them, they invoke them for make sure say then they defend themselves against Cameroon occupation, against Cameroon annexation, against Cameroon colonialism. They defend themselves against Cameroon scorched earth policy. They defend themselves against Cameroon terrorism tactics. They defend themselves against Cameroon genocide. They defend themselves against Cameroon colonial police, army, gendarmes, and BE. They invoke self-defense for defend themselves, defend their families, defend their communities, defend their towns, defend their villages, and defend the sovereignty of Ambazonia. Number 4, now diplomacy. Now what did happen outside of Ambazonia? The first 3, collective Ghost Town, Country Sunday, the rejection of the colonial school, self-defense, all those first 3, now ground zero, now the population, now the Ambazonian people them on the territory and on the ground. Now then they carry out the self-defense, they carry out, they observe the Ghost Town, the rejection of the colonial school boycott. Number 4, diplomacy. Now for say, they take all what did happen for ground zero. They take the Ghost Town, they take the colonial school rejection, they take the self-defense, and then they internationalize them. For tell the world what the Ambazonia they fight for speak the truth about the fraudulent union, and then for present Ambazonia as an empowering alternative to the chaotic barbaric, fraudulent system, corrupt system, chronic corrupt system of La République du Cameroon. So it be very important for our people then, for ground zero, for understand, say for we for win. For we for win. All we, for Ambazonia for be free. We must reject the people that way they want to sell Ambazonia to La République du Cameroon. For Ambazonia for become free, the Ambazonian people like Mr. Akwanga, where they don't prove themselves, say they don't go put their hand for the black pot, for become sellout to Ambazonia. Ambazonian, they must demonstrate a level of intellectual competence for reject these people then. Because if you not do them, they go still parade them as leaders of Ambazonia. Una must take the courage, the boldness for vomit the traitors and clean the liberation. Una must just as with the vomit la République du Cameroon, the Ambazonian people, they must show a level of intellectual competence for reject and vomit traitors and sellouts. Una get for reject them, una get for vomit them. That's why when we make progress, they go instigate this matter them for keep the Ambazonian people them for a state of argument, for a state of debunking. Instead of making progress, instead of creating actions where they go move the Ambazonian people them forward, they go create provocative materials for instigate infighting, for create confusion on the ground. And present an atmosphere will be chaotic. Not the agenda that. Not the agenda that. That's why a level of smartness be required from the people. For show this level of competence. Say they know the difference between right and wrong. They know the difference between a traitor. They know the difference between a traitor and a patriot. They know the difference between a sellout and a nationalist. Say you know the difference. You must demonstrate say you know the difference. You must demonstrate them. Make we end that one for today. Good news don't come up for the southern, the savannah, the Atlantic states. 2 days ago, we put out a publication. I not get that video for playing for now. For the forces them, the block by block forces them. For the Atlantic states, the forces they call them say the AMF. We see a video of plenty of these boys, plenty fighters inside water with better guitar them, better gun them, well armed, well equipped. After they go finish an action for teach La République du Cameroon some lessons. So we want court salute for the block by block forces. For the AMF, for that side, for the Atlantic states. So today, for inside the great state of Fako, all we done hear about the actions with the forces, the carrier. For the state of Fako today, we don't get good news. Say, the forces, the block by block forces for the state of Fako, they call them say Mountain Lions, under the leadership of General Sagat. We hear say today, they take big operation, a big tactical operation for inside Munya. they go invade, they go attack, they go launch an assault, they go launch an ambush on Cameroon Colonial Terrorist Police. They enter right inside the police station. The forces of Mountain Lions, the block by block forces of Mountain Lions, when are sister forces of ADF, where they work hand in hand. The general, led by General Sagat, he and the picking them, they take this big operation for early morning. They invade the colonial police station for Munya. According to the information we get them, they enter inside, they scatter place. Boy, they shoot. The damage is where they cause them. We hear say now about 12 police officers, colonial police officers, Cameroon terrorist colonial police officers. They kill them for that fight. Now after they don't finish, the battle don't end. The boys they take off. Now way the Cameroon colonial army they show up. Now in this. A lot of pictures today with plenty blood for the floor, and I not like for put those things for you so that they not can sanction our page. All right, we see a lot of pictures them with a lot of blood, and around that place. After that time, the vexation for the Cameroon colonial beat them. They go she don't begin to bomb motor them around that area. All right, so we want to salute the forces of Mountain Lions, the block by block forces of Mountain Lions for the great state of Fako, for the Atlantic states. We want to salute General Sagat for this big operation where they don't carry on, for the great work where they do on, for continuous, for move the Ambazonian people them forward, for continuous defend our people them, and project Ambazonia. So I want to take this time today, since the country Sunday, we get images where they come out for the great city of Kumba, the place where Akwanga Ebenezer called Seme Ghost Town N, and for the city of Boya, for the Ambazonian capital. We see images where they don't come out. That those images they never enter my system here. We see images where they don't come out, where they publish them. While Mr. Ebenezer Akwanga, he called make Ghost Town come to an end, the Ambazonian people them for across the territory, especially for the city of Cape Town and the city of Boya. Ambazonian people, they observe the fattest Mami Water ghost town. It be been at the best Mami Water ghost town. It been at the best ghost town today for all across Ambazonia, more than anything we don't ever see them before. So every time when these agents or agents provocateurs, these sellouts, when they can provoke the Ambazonian people, we see the resilience and the commitment for Ground Zero, the instead become stronger. When they can provoke our people then, because our people don't be smart enough, our people don't wise up enough, for no say, they say, certain actions where they be carried out by sellouts and traitors, they not be good for Ground Zero, and Ground Zero go double their effort for proof to these people. So the people that be in charge, the people that be informed, and the people that know the corny. So today, the biggest ghost town, it take place all across the territory. All across the territory. I hope say the people then for ACN, as the ACN they go on this evening, they will put those pictures then for ACN for shame the devil and shame the sellouts and shame the traitors. All right. Then another picture when a provocation too, it don't come. And at this one, I want to really talk about. This one, now another picture for provocation, where a picture for the British High Commissioner for La République du Cameroun. They call it Mr. Christian McClaw. Yes, his name is Mr. Christian McClaw. So Mr. McClaw, when the British High Commissioner for La République du Cameroun, now in that, he don't come out, he go for Ambazonian city of Bamenda. When La République du Cameroun, as they always fool them, Paul Biya don't tell them, say, hey, as I be promising, I don't give them special status. I don't give the people of Northwest and Southwest, as they call them, special status. And so I don't create regional parliament for effective decentralization. Go for Bamenda. Go carry your eye, Mr. Ambassador, Mr. High Commissioner of the United Kingdom. Go carry your eye. You yourself, you go see him. Say, I don't give power back for those people then. So we don't solve the problem. Go testify so that if you write a report, you send them back for the British government. Say, La République du Cameroun, it only takes steps for bring back peace. Now in this, now Mr. High Commissioner, this Mr. Christian McClaw. Now in that, as they always fool them, they give this country close for the Northwest, for the Savannah State. They give that country close them. He wear them. Now in that, they go stand with enablers, with the colonial enablers. He take picture. And he don't say La République, they use those pictures now for their own propaganda. All right? What did this one mean for Ambazonian people then? Yes, I know say in the past, we not go expect all we for go after this man. For say, hey, England people then will not be wrong. Why would I do this kind of thing? Will not be traitors, will not be this. The leader don't talk am. But for me, today, for leadership, for talk for leadership, for book for leadership, the way leadership psychology they think. Anything we want change am, you know if you blame some other person. Anything where you want change am, you want fix am, you know if you blame some other person. You must take responsibility. Ambazonians they not be no say La République du Cameroun. For tell the world say they solve the problem. Ambazonians they not be no say La République du Cameroun they build that place where they call it say regional assembly. Not be Ambazonia they be no. Ambazonia they be no. When they open the regional assembly, Ambazonians they not be no. Ambazonians they be no. Ambazonians, they know all these enablers where they don't make them regional members of the regional parliament. Ambazonians, they know all them. It be very easy for blame UK ambassador. It be easy. Any person if you just come out, you blame me, you caution. That one, it not require any responsibility. It not require ownership. You feel blame me all you want. You coach England all you want. It not go change nothing. Until we accept our own faults. We accept our own mistakes. We accept our own shortcomings. Nothing will change. Now the talk is for today. My main talk for today. Ambazonians, we must take responsibility. What did it happen for Ambazonia? For enablers inside Ambazonia, inside Bamenda, they go open regional parliament. And we don't get many months we will know say this project they go on. How it reach so the UK ambassador, UK High Commissioner, it go take picture for front of that building. How it reach? Who's Ambazonians day? Who's our leadership day? Especially the defense leadership of Ambazonia Defense Forces. Who's the leadership day? The leadership of Ambazonia Defense Forces. Who's their leadership day? Because if you talk say you get the biggest force, that means say you also talk, say they say, certain things that they way now you fit do am. And if you get the most powerful force and the most equipped force, that means say you bear the responsibility. Say certain things that they way, now you must take care of those things. So if you don't reach in a level with this regional assembly, where they occupy and don't use them, for proof to the world, say their grand national dialogue, if it take place, and they take the steps them for make peace return, and for address the things that the people that they complain about, then it been at the failure of the Ambazonian people then for not for live up to their own expectation. It been at the failure of the defense leadership for why this thing take place. So we not fit continue to blame now the government of the United Kingdom. We not fit continue to shame them. Now we create the conditions for these things to take place. All man knows say this house, they be build this regional parliament. They don't build them. They can't open them. And so they hold the first session. Same for the one for Boya. They build them. They commission the building. And they go hold the first session. Who said the defense leadership for Ambazonia Day? So, not blame, stop for blame the UK. Stop for blame la République du Cameroon. Take responsibility for your failures. Take responsibility for your faults. Take responsibility for your shortcomings. Not blame the UK. If, when they build this house, the defense leadership of Ambazonia Defense Forces, it be put out a plan. Say that house, it will be a potential target for defeat the purpose of the liberation. And it will give La République du Cameroon an upper hand. If they be get a plan for take that house out before they finish or Bilam, who for reach this place today. Even when they don't Bilam, and they know say the house they exist, if plan be day, for give the instructions for the forces, say now project this, it must go down for Ambazonia. We not feel leave them, make La République du Cameroon, it can't institute this their nonsense. If those things if action be carried out 3 months ago, 4 months ago, 2 months ago, last month, today, or yesterday, or on Friday, the UK Higher Commissioner, if I go to take picture for day, you see why it be very easy for blame the UK, but it be very difficult for Ambazonia for accept the responsibility of their own shortcomings and their own failures, for accept the responsibility of the failure of the defense leadership. It be very easy for blame UK. It be very easy saying that, oh, now when I say we into La République du Cameroon, now which action you did take for remedy the situation? Pictures a day for outside for all the enablers for that regional assembly. Which it don't happen with them. Failure of defense leadership. We not stop for blame La République du Cameroon. We not stop for blame America. We not stop for blame the international system. We not stop for blame me. If we not be create the conditions because of failure of defense leadership for take proactive measures, we not forget here. You want progress? Take responsibility. You want progress? Be proactive. High money reach for enablers, for go hold a session, for a town will be surrounded by ADF brigades. How it managed reach? How? So Ambazonians, if you not be disappointed, be disappointed with your defense leadership. Now for the responsibility they get for come from. Now for the corrections they get for take place. We Ambazonians, we must take responsibility for our shortcomings, our failures. We must acknowledge the place where we go wrong. We must acknowledge them. You know if you change anything until you take ownership. Now our land, not be land. Now because we'll give you an upper hand. If we not be given an upper hand and allow that building for them for build them, so that they finish for build them. For them for build them, so that they can make them into a regional parliament. For them for build them, so that they go hold the first session. If we not be create the conditions and allow these things to happen, how if we manage go there? It go there now because they say that the public they implement their own projects and they succeed. And we the only spend our time for instead for go after those things then when then they hold the occupational system together. We spend our time and for do different things. So now a big failure for the Ambazonian people then. Now a failure for see this regional assembly, it be active. Now a failure. Now say we fail for Stopper, we fail for Boya, and we fail for Bamenda. But we must acknowledge, say we get things that we need for fix them. We must acknowledge so we get things that we need for fix them. And these things are defense things them. Not in a political leadership, not defense leadership for all the forces on the ground. So all the forces them for the Atlantic state, from the Mountain Lions to the AMF to the ADF, all the forces where they operate for the Atlantic states, all the forces where they call themselves restoration forces. Now I don't fail the Ambazonian people them. Now the generals and the commanders, they fail. Now failure, now defense failure. That's why they be able for hold that thing for Ambazonia. Same thing for the northern, for the Atlantic, for the Savannah states. All the forces where they operate for the Savannah states, it shows a defense failure for Stopper. And the only reason, now because there was no plan put in place for stop these things. There was no plan put in place for pick up all those traitors and enablers. Because there was no plan. And that's why they get the horn, they grow horn. When they build the building, you don't stop them. They paint the building, you don't stop them. You make their horn grow. And then now you woke up, you want to see the British High Commissioner, they go there. And nothing not be there for Stopper. So now a defense failure. And that's something we all we got for learn from. Say some mistake they don't be made. And those mistakes they don't repeat themselves again. We must change. We not fit defeat la Republic du Cameroon. Get total dynamic control. And for most places, we get static control. And then can't live on these people that they disgrace you like this. Jesus! You don't win a war. All the systems where we don't already dismantle them. We don't live under they can't build the new ones for in front all man. Now which message you think say this one is sent for the Ambazonian population? Now which message we think say it is sent out to the Ambazonian population? Now which message it is sent out to the international system? Ambazonians, when I woke up, not be every day I will can't sweet on a heart. Sometimes we will speak the bitter truth to ourselves. We must wake up, take full responsibility for the things that we do wrong. Ma talk for you. Anything where any man want learn, what I want learn, military planning, they did all online on YouTube for free. What I want learn how to communicate, how to be charismatic, all right, how to speak with confidence. It did all for YouTube for free. What I want being a good soldier, you want being a good captain, you be a defense leader, you want to learn how for build good teams. Those things, they did all for internet for free. The question I say, how many people did spend time? If you spend just 1 hour a week, 1 hour a week for improve a certain skill set, a certain knowledge, a certain talent, 1 hour a week, you will make tremendous progress for a very short period of time. So no person of it, no man no get excuse. There is no excuse. We got for critique ourselves. Not be blame. Critique. We got for do introspection. And ask ourselves, if we continue down this path, who's going to be in the next 3 months? If things they continue the way that it go, who's going to be in the next 3 months? That's why we must wake up. We must wake up. All man, mommy, they must wake up. Papa, they must wake up. Fighters, they must wake up. We not develop an offensive action plan. An aggressive, offensive action plan. Now, a disgrace for see those structures exist in Ambazonia. Now, an embarrassment and a disgrace to the Ambazonian people. Them. A disgrace. A disgrace. We know what to do. We now woke up. Make all man woke up. Make we change. We know what to do. Everybody know what to do. The soldiers, they know what to do. But they need firm instruction. They need a plan. You don't get a plan? Wishful thinking no go take any group anywhere. I don't care how powerful it be. You don't get a plan? Wishful thinking, it no go take anybody anywhere. If you don't get a plan, you get big problems. Because if you not create a plan for make you proactive, for go after them, they go come after you. And it will be disaster. You don't make a plan for counter all this propaganda. Will the public do them? You go weaken the confidence of the people on the ground. You go face a disaster. This message, especially now for defense leadership. We must critique ourselves and hold ourselves accountable. Hold the public accountable, hold organizations accountable, hold leaders accountable, hold institutions accountable. overall, we do extremely well. But you get small places where if we fix them, we will become better and it will change, it will take we far for a relatively short period of time. One mistakes they know over plenty. One mistakes they know over plenty. But if we not fix them, those mistakes they will grow. And then those errors, they will grow. It will lead to more errors. And then it will give more La Republic more upper hand. And then La Republic will take more of that, their small propaganda there. They go promote and promote and promote and promote them. And then it will grow. So we do well, but make we just improve. Make we become proactive. Just like what the mountain lions they do them today. They became aggressive and they go after the occupier before the occupation forces they come after them. Now I call this for all units. The last few weeks, by men that don't quiet. The last few weeks, we see more steam, especially the last 2 weeks, for the Atlantic states. When a good news, because Atlantic states belong to sleep. We see more activity for the Atlantic states, from Ndian to Manu, to Meme, to Fako. We see more activity. It be very encouraging. See the dynamics that they change. So we do well. If we improve small, we'll go very far. Any leader where you get a public office, focus on self-development and self-improvement. It will take you far. It will make you become more effective and more efficient. The reluctance for people then for high perform. The more you not do something, the more the tendency you not go do them. Now, psychological principle. The more you start to do something and you start to improve, the more your confidence grow. The more you improve that skill. So, if you be supposed to talk for outside for once a week, and you be reluctant for doing, the more you not do them, the more the tendency you know will do them. But the more you become decisive and you start doing, you commit to, okay, I will go out once a week. And you start to improve your delivery. You start to learn how to improve your delivery. You start to learn how to refine your tonality, your inflection. All right? Your volume, your posture, your physiology. All those non-verbal communication cues. All those things. And then you start to work on your content. The more you will become more happy for do this work where you go move the Ambazonian people forward. The more you will become a joyful contributor. Person when you need to do this thing because some man ask you. You did do it because you be passionate for the people that are freedom. And the more you better yourself, the more you better what you offer them for the people them. But the more you not better yourself, the more you do low performance, then when you finish, you're not going to be happy with how you don't deliver. And it will make you know one come back. Now the same thing for management. Same thing for leadership. So all we feel improve. Now the same thing for defense leadership, their relationship with generals, their relationship with commanders. The defense leadership, their relationship with the generals. Now the most important relationship for the liberation. Second, their relationship with commanders. How often a leader they talk with all the generals every week. I studied this man, what did they call it? Say, a football coach for America. Okay? When he be the training players, the greatest football coach for American history, college football coach, when he be the training player, then he keep a notebook every day during training of how he trained that player and what he do and for improve that player. A peak performance. Every single day, day after day, week after week, month after month. What he be the player weakness and what he be, which strategy be using for help that player for improve their performance. His name na Coach John Wooden. When I go read the biography, the most successful college basketball coach for the American history. He win 99 games, 79 games. Wait, team not lost one game. They played 79 games. The winner. And double A, C, national championship. He win, I think, 5 of those championships them on a roll. So the knowledge be out there about how to take any team, whether you take a defense team, or you take a fundraising team, or you take a diplomatic team, any team you fit take them, you take them through the stages of peak performance. Any person fit improve. So excuse no day for no leader. Excuse no day for no person for lead commanders and lead generals. No excuse no day. If those things are not be done, then it just become a matter of laziness. Excuse no day. Picking their lives be at stake. Mommy, their lives they be at stake. Papa, their lives they be at stake. The nation, the life be at stake. So the moment you step up, you say you want lead. Now a commitment to the people then. Because of my commitment for the leader, and my commitment for the organization, and my commitment to the forces, and my commitment to the Ambazonian people, there is no excuse. Even if it means I go for woke up now for 3 o'clock, for do my work and deliver the results, I must do them. There's no excuse. Now a commitment. Every person feel improve. And we all for our people then. Will you do well? Or if you do better? Certain things are not supposed to happen anymore. Because of the capacity of the bilan. So why those things that happen? Let me talk this for today. I hope say some person when I don't learn 1 or 2 things, I hope say this self-critique, I forgive you, I for add more fire for your belly. I for add fire for your belly. So if you do more, fighters if you do more, commanders if you do more, generals if you do more, if you be a donor, if you do more, or if you do more. If all we will step up and each person you give your best every day to the liberation, then it adds up into this thing we call as a victory. We'll be very close. The moon not live and make our victories. They give we a sense of pride and will slow down our momentum. We don't come very far. Make we not live and make what we don't achieve. It make we become satisfied. We become too happy. Say yes, we don't make the territory ungovernable. Yes, we did for you. Yes, we did for you. No, the fight will still there ahead. It be more important. Pass the one we don't pass up. The work we don't do and for back. Why it be important? The work we did ahead of we. Small work. It be much more important. Because the one for back we already finish up. Now the one for front, it remain. Forgive you the liberation one time. So, make all man get a blessed evening. Make all man remain, continue for be inspired. This talk, not be for blame some person. Alright? We're not there enough for blame people them. Who need to blame people them? We're there enough for just critique ourselves and hold ourselves accountable and hold all we accountable. All right? When you hold yourself accountable, you gain something they call and say personal power. When you take responsibility, you gain what they call and say personal power. When you get personal power, now you be in charge for produce the result we want. But when you don't take responsibility, you lost personal power. When you lost personal power, you know if you take action. And without action, nothing may happen. All right. They could leave us so for today. I want to wish all una a beautiful Monday evening. Make una stay fine. Make una stay safe. Make una stay strong. Make una stay committed. Those two assemblies, the Colonial Regional Assembly for Boya and the Colonial Regional Assembly for the city of Bamenda, are targets. Now, occupational targets where they don't re-implant them, you don't reconstruct them for keep the Ambazonian people them for a new form of slavery. All infrastructure of the occupation must be dismantled. All infrastructure of colonialism in Ambazonia must be dismantled. All infrastructure, Cameroon infrastructure of occupation, colonialism, and annexation for keep Ambazonian people them under occupation and under subjugation and under colonialism must be dismantled. Now, right for dismantle the things that they keep the people them under occupation. Now, right for dismantle infrastructures of colonialism, because colonialism now human how they call them colonialism now crimes against humanity. Illegal occupation now crimes against humanity. So anything, any infrastructure, any building where they use them for the purpose for perpetuate occupation, annexation, and colonialism, those places become a target for the people that want freedom. Until you take down those places, the space for you for achieve that freedom in no day. Now the same thing with all enablers of occupation, colonialism, and genocide. They be a target under international law because now then they enable Cameroon genocide on Ambazonia, they enable Cameroon occupation of Ambazonia, and they enable Cameroon colonialism of Ambazonia. When I get a good night.
God upon my life, anybody wasting life, I announce to you, your generation is wasted. Your family is wasted. Number two, whatever a person does to prevent himself from being killed does not amount to an offense. That is the Constitution. Anything a person does in order to prevent himself from being killed, whatever it is not an offense. Section 59 of the Penal Code provides that nothing is an offense of which is done in the lawful exercise of the right of private defense. Nothing is an offense. Vigilante groups, hear the word. Nothing is an offense. Section 60 of the Penal Code also provides that the right of private defense extends to A, the defense of his own body and the body of any other person against any offense affecting the human body. B, the property, whether movable or immovable, of himself or of any other person. In other words, against any act which is an offense under the definition of theft, robbery, mischief, criminal trespass, which is an attempt to commit any of those offenses. Meaning is, nothing is an offense where a person is defending himself or defending another from being destroyed or being killed. So what is the useless nonsense about those who think they have the claim to take lives at will, and then they go unarrested and they go unharassed? The end of it has come. Somebody shout, enough is enough. What I read said, if the man killed somebody because they came to kill him, that the court discharged him acquitted. That devil is a bastard. In case you are saying, Pastor, but is it Constitution you are quoting? Let's go to Bible. Take your seat. Genesis chapter 9 verse 6. Whoso sheddeth man's blood, by man shall his blood be set. For in the image of God made him man. The killer is qualified for killing. Exodus chapter 22 verse 2. Look at what it said. If a thief be found, so let's generalize it. A thief is the lowest level. Kidnapper, ritual killer, assassin, hired killer, terrorist, be found breaking up and be smitten that he die, there shall no blood be shed for him. But that action was not an offense. He came to finish people, and the people he came to finish gathered and finished him. Those people did nothing wrong. Proverbs chapter 26 verse 27. He that diggeth a pit shall fall inside. Whatever he wants is given. He that rolleth a stone. Somebody say back to sender. Somebody saying you are quoting Old Testament. Let's go to New Testament. Revelation chapter 13 verse 10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed. Whatever he uses to come to kill, with the same equipment he shall be attacked. Now see what the penal code